So you've decided to bring AWG simulcast into your marketplace. Excellent choice. My name is Kelly Bianchi, and I am the Director of Product Marketing and Training for AWG Remarketing. This video is your first course in understanding the psychology of social commerce and what we in the social space like to call the rules of engagement. My objective is to make sure that your entire block staff is committed to executing the AWG simulcast product in a way that will maximize the return on your investment. When I visit your auction, I look for the key elements necessary to achieve an active online marketplace, and I can spot the issues that may inhibit your dealers from participating in or even showing up to your broadcast. However, my time at your auction is limited. Therefore, I would like to educate you as the owner or general manager on what you should expect from your simulcast team. The success of your simulcast will be determined by how well your team is able to build a rapport with your online buyers, delivering the same experience they would enjoy if they were to attend your auction in person, and instilling them with the confidence to make a $10,000 purchase on the click of a mouse. The key is to engage your audience, ensure that they always receive a consistent experience, and let your audience know that they're dealing with real people, not a computer. Your key players in accomplishing these tasks are your online clerk and your auctioneer. The relationship between your online clerk and your auctioneer is crucial. You want them to develop a rhythm. Therefore, I can't stress enough the importance of positioning the online clerk directly beside the auctioneer. The online clerk needs to be responsive to the online participants in real time. Any distance between the online clerk and the auctioneer can result in a delayed response, which is not conducive to the sense of urgency that is the essence of the auction environment. In addition to a delay of communication, the distance also impacts the validity of information. Miscommunication will impact your online credibility. Dealers will lose confidence in participating in your live event. And while some will opt to play it safe by registering proxy bids, the statistics on sale conversion for proxy bids are low. However, if you follow the instructions outlined in this video, you will obtain more real-time bidders, increasing your weekly attendance as well as your bottom line. Now that we've discussed the solidarity of these roles, let's talk about the individual influence of your simulcast team. Typically, when I first introduce the importance of the auctioneer's ability to engage the online audience, the first response I get is, "Oh, he works at other auctions that have online sales, so he's very familiar with it." Then I proceed to watch the auctioneer's technique, only to find that he goes about the sale in the same way he would if the camera was not present, but adds a slight differentiation by throwing in the word online occasionally. Of course, your auctioneer is a good auctioneer. You wouldn't have hired him if he wasn't. However, what is the criteria for distinguishing a good simulcast auctioneer? When I started in the auction business, I was the marketing director for an independent auction in upstate New York. When we first implemented our AWG simulcast, I spent a lot of time analyzing the execution of our system and focused on growing our online audience. We mostly ran 2 lanes and our auctioneers were a father and son team. I typically arrived at the block about 10 minutes prior to the sale, and I'd welcome the dealers. I'd explain to them that they could type in any questions that they might have on any of the vehicles. My intentions were very good, but the auctioneer was a little resistant to work with me. However, my word is my bond, and I promised these online dealers that I would be there to advocate for them. So I continued to push the auctioneer to be more interactive with the online buyer. Many times I had witnessed buyers coming up to the block, interrupting the auctioneer to ask a question about the vehicle, and he gladly would bend over, down from his podium, and extend an ear. Yet he was continually reluctant to oblige my online buyers with the same courtesy. After enough statements like, "Honey, I've been doing this for years," I realized that it wasn't the online buyers he was reluctant to answer. It was me. Being just as stubborn and feeling that he was standing in the way of getting the most out of a system we had invested in, I continued to bring the issue to the attention of the owner. And every time she came to the block, she would witness his disinterest in the internet and she would say, "Talk to the online." Needless to say, it was a bumpy relationship for a while, but when it finally smoothed out, he began talking to the online buyers nearly as frequently as he addressed the floor. His ability to engage the online audience made a direct impact on our sales. In fact, we had built up such a level of trust with our online audience, on a few occasions we were actually able to sell vehicles that were not available to online bidders, but because they were visible in the camera, online dealers would manually type in their bids. It was a true testimony to how far we had come with our online sale. Incidentally, this auctioneer also previously argued with me that he had worked at other auctions that have simulcast and that he knew what he was doing. The bottom line is that for most of the auctioneers, retraining them to adjust to your online marketplace, especially after they've been an auctioneer for however many years it might be, can be a little challenging to their pride. Auctioneers are used to working solo. When I began to understand this more, I was able to amend my approach, and eventually we became a great team. Because every time I train an internet clerk, the first thing I say is, you have to become one with the auctioneer. They always look at me as if I just said, you're going to have to wrestle a bear. It sounds similar on a couple different levels, and either way it promotes a sense of anxiety. However, with all of the confidence in the world, I assure the clerk that it can be done. Before simulcast technology, the block consisted of one clerk designated to documenting the sale results and reporting any announcements to the auctioneer. The information was recorded on paper or within the auction management system. With the implementation of live simulcast, a new position has emerged that many auctions have attempted to fit into the description of block clerk, but the role actually exceeds that definition. In fact, if performing to the extent of what should be expected, the online clerk position fulfills a virtual representation of the entire block staff. The online clerk acts as an auctioneer. They welcome the dealers, they present the vehicle, including its condition, typically using the light system. They ask for bids, they communicate the bids received from the floor bidders, they answer questions about the vehicle, they request more money for the vehicle, they convey when the bidding is about to close or if it's selling all the way, they relay the sale outcome, whether it's sold, put on a phone call, or if it's a no sale, and at the end of the auction they thank everyone for coming and tell them about any upcoming sales or reminds them to come again the following week. The online clerk actually acts as a ringman as well. They work as a liaison between the bidders and the auctioneer, asking questions regarding the vehicle. They chase the bids in the virtual space, enticing bidders to continue. And then finally, the online clerk acts as a clerk. They verify the vehicle being presented as the one selected on the computer, and they record the results of the sale. Everyone's objective is to give the online dealers the same experience they would have if they were to physically attend the auction. But this goes even one step further for the online clerk, since this position is directly in charge of managing the online communication. That being said, the first criteria for hiring a clerk should be to assess how well he or she knows the auction lingo. The less communication barriers, the better. He or she also needs to be able to effectively advocate for the online dealers. They have to feel comfortable in reaching out to the auctioneer to answer questions, because it's very important that they generate a timely response. In most cases, the auctioneer can simply answer the online bidder's question through his microphone. All responses do not have to be typed. The bottom line is that if a dealer is asking a question, he has some interest in bidding on the vehicle. Ignoring dealer questions will result in lower simulcast attendance and could prevent the online growth of your auction. Consequently, if your clerk is successful in delivering timely information and establishing a pace with the auctioneer, you can expect to gain more credibility for your online sale. Clerks should also be trained on the importance of consistency. Dealers should not experience a lot of variation in procedure as they move from one lane to the next. For instance, online clerks should make it a practice to convey the asking amount as the auctioneer attempts to catch a bid. Additionally, the online clerk should be sure to convey when the bidding is about to close. If dealers see a lot of variation as they move from lane to lane, they will hesitate to bid until they see a consistent pattern. Okay, just to recap. If the auctioneer is flying through the sale and closing floor bids without any thought or communication towards the internet, the probability is that you will not see a lot of real-time online activity in that particular lane. If the auctioneer is not cooperating with the initiative to build the online sale, the clerk should bring this to the attention of the general manager. On the other side of the coin, if the online clerk consistently ignores dealer questions and continually exceeds the bidding amount, you can expect to lose the confidence of your online bidders. You'll find that these type of errors will be brought to the attention of management directly from the customers. So to get off on the right foot, I recommend that you hold a meeting with your auctioneers and present them with your expectations. If they tell you that they do this at other auctions, let them know that at this auction, you will be monitoring their ability to build and engage the online audience, in addition to their ability to communicate with the online clerk. Continue to supervise this effort until the effort of speaking to the online audience becomes natural. In the beginning, you may have only a small audience, but give a great performance every time and you will see that audience grow. Be sure to check out more of our training videos. If you need further assistance, feel free to email me at kelly@awgremarketing.com. And hey, thanks for choosing AWG.